G'day Bomber fans, that was a bloody good win. Sometimes the quality of the opposition just does not matter. There are some games that just feel amazing to get over the line in, and games against Carlton in front of big crowds, that's a game you want to win. Before I get into my review, get your player of the match votes in, 3-2-1 Brownlow style, Bomber players only, and stick around till the end of the video to hear about MANSCAPED. Alrighty, so this game was a big one, not just the occasion, big crowd, MCG, rival team, new marquee, blockbuster game, but because if we won, we went into the bye with the same amount of wins as top 4 teams. If we lost, we could have faced a very nervous weekend next round with other teams below us possibly leapfrogging, and the way we started the match, it did not look good. It was low scoring, energetic, but bad football, from us at least. I thought the Blues had purpose with the ball. They were transitioning well, which we haven't seen for a while from them. It was what I was worried about, them coming out hot. They had their backs against the wall all week, really, well, all year, but and they played like they wanted to escape the scrutiny. We weren't horrible, but we weren't in control. I think the thing keeping us in the game and going our way early was the fact they were not converting, and a big reason for that was because we controlled territory. We often forced them to shoot from outside 50 because they were often shooting on the counter, and we were defending it really well. If you go back and look at their points, their behinds, especially early, none of them are what you would call expected goals. So we actually defended the game as well as we could. It was our attack that was the issue. We led the half despite playing worse footy, and obviously a rev up was going to come. That is often the case when a better team is down. You can't rev up a poor team like Carlton performing well. We needed Brad Scott to give the boys a bath, and he must have, because that third quarter was simply irresistible. The switch was flicked. Scott moved some magnets around to good effect. He put Merritt, who was facing a heavy tag, in the forward line to allow him to impact the game outside of contests, and it worked. We started dominating clearances, and Merritt even popped up for a goal and an assist. He was awesome, even though he was winning less of the pill. And Carlton just fell asleep and allowed us to do whatever the bloody hell we wanted. We were waltzing it through the middle of the ground. It was champagne footy. I think we had 2 or 3 centre clearance based goals for the quarter, which is nuts. We were playing with our own footy. It looked like we had an extra 2 players on the field. They had no response, which meant we won the game. That quarter won us the match because it's bloody easy to defend a 6-goal lead in a quarter. That third term is exactly the reason why we got over the line. And the last term, it was just business as usual. We weren't playing our champagne football, but we had the game iced. We ended up winning by 34 points, around 6 goals, same margin as 3/4 time, really. Fairly comfortable in the end. We started resting players even. We subbed out Draper tactically, just because. I guess I don't really know the reasoning behind it. There was maybe a hip issue that was talked about. I don't know too much. The real question you guys want answered is, how did we win this game of footy? Well, to put it lightly, no offense Carlton fans, our opponent are no good. They are now in the bottom 4. This Carlton side are ultra disappointing. They are lost at the moment. They look like they would struggle against the Hawks or North right now. I thought maybe they would really give it to us to keep their season alive. It looked like it early, but it's now dead. They are dead and buried, so that is a big reason why we won, because we were up against a team, simply put, worse than us. But it's not that simple. There are reasons why they are worse, and a big one is the fact they cannot kick a winning score even if they try. This is the 5th game straight they haven't kicked 60 points in, and it's nothing to do with inaccuracy. Sure, it doesn't help that they don't convert, but they can't enter their forward 50 properly at all. There is no synergy, and we capitalized on that. We were all over them in defense. We found it way too easy at times to deal with their entries and kill them on the way back. They just weren't up to it in the contest, and we were. We had almost double the amount of centre clearances without Parrish, without Shield, without Setterfield, with Merritt playing up forward for most of the game. It is bonkers that Nick Martin, Jai Caldwell, and Ben Hobbs were able to get on top of the star-studded Chera, Cripps, and Walsh. Our starting midfield from round 1 was not in the centre bounces, and we still doubled them for clearances. It just makes no sense to me that we won the battle as well as we did. We yet again showed how much cleaner we were with ball in hand, and yet again took over 100 uncontested marks. We have adapted so well in this regard. When we aren't playing lightning fast counter-attacking footy, we are using angle changes, short, sharp kicks around in our defensive half. They struggle to deal with it, and something that just really needs to be spoken about, they had 33 tackles for the game. I believe it's their lowest tackle tally in 5 years. It's just not on. That is embarrassing. We had 64, they had 33. In fact, we had 20 inside 50. We weren't even that far off their whole tackle count with our inside 50 tackle count. We had 20 inside 50 tackles to 7. Despite having much less of the ball inside our 50, they won the inside 50 count comfortably. The return of Peter Wright exposed some big defensive flaws they have down there. Wiedering did his job as a key back, but Wright on Young was just not fair. It was a cheat code. code, and the way Wright and Wiedemann worked together was just sublime. Wiedemann did a lot right in that game for no reward. I am keen to see these two play together more. It was great. A big reason for our second half dominance and our efficiency inside 50 was our changed entries. Notice that Wright didn't take any big contested clunks to kick his goals. It was leads. It was good kicks to him. It was hard work from our mids. I know you guys haven't liked our high kick entries, so you would have loved that second half. We changed our ways going forward after half time. Before the halftime break, we had 5 marks inside 50, and in that third quarter, we equaled that for an extra 5. So we clearly came out and had an understanding to lower the eyes and sharpen our inside 50 efficiency. But really, it was around the contest work that impressed me most. I said it in my preview, they have the bigger bodies, they have more experience in the guts, and just in general, really. But we looked, in the second half at least, the hungrier team. And even when we weren't the hungrier team, we were at least breaking even, shown by the fact we went into halftime in front. And we were just smarter in the coach's box. We moved magnets to free up other players and zones. We shifted players around, shifted system. We made moves on the run. Carlton did not. They were easy to read and frankly pretty boring when they had ball in hand. I know they had a lot of misses and could have narrowed the margin, but I feel like we could have won that game by more. Any negatives from the game? That first half I did not enjoy. It wasn't a 4-quarter performance, but even then that's a positive because it was a poor half and we led regardless. I also feel like most players contributed across the board really well. Good luck finding players to drop when Parrish, Shield and Setterfield and co come back. We are starting to look like a dangerous team though. You got to be happy with what we get each week. This is a team that beats the teams it should. We can trust this Brad Scott Essendon. I am bloody pleased to be a Bomber fan at the moment. On the flip side, looking at Carlton, I'm not going to comment much. I just cannot comprehend why they are playing the way they are. I don't want to heap hate on them just because of a rivalry. They have enough to deal with right now, so let's just be happy with our own performance. Let's talk some votes though. I'm going to give one to Jai Caldwell. He is a really gutsy operator. He's made the loss of Parrish and Shield a non-issue really. He was great. I give 2 to 2 meter Peter, 5 goals on return. We've missed this guy a lot, but Nick Martin, that was some sort of game he played. He played through the guts a lot with merit up forward, and he had the most clearances on the field with 7. He has to be in All-Australian contention right now. Some unlucky not to receive votes. Jake Stringer I really liked. I thought he was great. Ben Hobbs as well. This guy is always unlucky. He has been so good since he's come back, but not getting any love from me. Sorry, Goblin. Heppel was great. Redmond was great. Ridley was great. Laverty was great in his 100th. Merritt, really selfless performance, and special mention to Will Snelling. He was fantastic. I cannot believe people didn't want him to be playing. He is great in that forward line, keeping Davey and tipping Woody out of it. Video done, review done. Leave your votes down below, but also head over to manscaped.com. You can get some awesome body grooming gear, and with me, even a cheeky discount, 20% off plus free shipping. Sounds good to me. Like the video, subscribe, and go Bombers.